I love the Providence Place Mall. I just came when you texted me, can we do 7 instead of 6:30? I was like, I got some time to kill.
Popped in over there?
Yeah, I popped in over there. I had to go see my my favorite store.
Which is that?
Africa.
What is that?
No, it's a store that sells like African products there. No, the Lego store.
Oh,
I had to go check out the Lego store.
Shelves are empty.
Shelves are empty.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, are they empty?
Crazy.
I mean, the only thing they had there Star Wars related was an Imperial cruiser. Like, I'm talking like the ones that say like, this is for mature people. You have to be 18 or older in order to.
Yeah, right.
They had the Imperial cruiser. I think that was like $670. They had Jabba's palace, I want to say.
That's cool.
That one I think was $400, and then they had a Republic gunship, which that looked nice.
That's cool.
Oh,
do you have any? I think we talked about this before. Do you have any Star Wars Lego?
I have so many Star Wars
Yeah.
Legos. I have so many from when I was younger, just in a bin.
Are they all mixed together?
They're all like mixed together. And at one point, a couple of years ago, what I did was I watched Game of Thrones and I sorted them by color.
Okay.
And it took me like 100 hours or so.
Crazy.
It took me a long, long time. Had them all in like in each like in a different bin, like sorted by like color, and then I was going to sort them by like piece themselves.
Mm.
And then one day my brother was just going through the basement. He's like, "Why are all the Legos not in the same bin?" So
Oh no.
he put them all back in one bin.
Oh god.
And it's like it was so depressing to look at because like they're still kind of sorted like in the bin.
Right. It's kind of like one of those like the popcorn tins.
Yes.
With the 3 different kinds of popcorn. If you take the center divider out, and then
because you just pour them all into like this 100-gallon tub, and so you could see like, oh, there's the white section, there's the like light gray section, the dark gray section. But I was like, I gotta start this over again. So early quarantine last year, I started doing it again, but it's just fucking it's.
So you're
tough.
doing it by color.
Yes.
Is there a reason why you're doing it by color? Just
because it's like because I have so many of the like this is from when I was in like.
Do you have the instructions for all these sets?
Okay, I have so many instructions.
Okay.
So like, and they have at the back of all the instructions, they have like
the parts list.
So many of like these square ones, of these rectangle ones.
Right.
So, oh Jesus, but yeah, that was tough. But yeah, no, I decided to swing by the Lego store. That place was popping today. Providence Place Mall.
There was my mom called me today. And this is so weird we're talking about this, but my mom called me today and was like, my brother collects Legos.
Yep.
For work.
Okay.
He builds them, but he collects them mostly. And we
said
also
for work?
No, just for fun.
Okay, yeah. Respect.
And we also together we've been parting out some sets we found on clearance and putting them on a Bricklink store.
So okay.
And we've been selling a couple orders here and there, not much. But we just got started. But she called me today and she was like, I just saw a thing on the news that they're saying that Legos are a better investment than gold and silver right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit. And she's like, yeah, well, after Christmas, like all of this, like everything's off the shelves, obviously now, like you just said.
They're timeless. I mean,
that's such a crazy
I have
thing.
Legos from like my dad used to play with them when he was like in middle and high school, and then they just kind of kept them.
Yeah.
My grandparents' house, and then they went over. Like they're timeless.
It's wild stuff.
Like our kids are gonna like.
Oh, definitely. Lego will
wild.
live on. Have you ever watched the documentary about Lego? I think it was The Toys That Made Us.
I have,
Netflix
yes.
one about how they like, I don't know, I forget the name of the town, but this town in Denmark.
Yeah.
They basically like they employ everybody in the town.
Like, it should just be called like Lego Town.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's crazy.
It's wild. And then like everything that goes into like making sure. Because like my thing was always like, oh, they're gonna fuck me one of these days with those small pieces like in the bag, like oh, it's not gonna be in there or something.
Yeah.
They always have them.
Never. Yeah,
they always have them.
Never fuck you.
It's a well-oiled machine. I fucking love Legos. Well, anyway, that was I decided to swing on over there. But yeah, that place was fucking. Providence Place Mall was like jamming.
The Providence Place Mall was a godsend for you. Live pretty close.
I do.
So being from Providence, right outside Providence. Yep. We only really had a few other options for malls, and they sucked.
Emerald Square Mall was
Emerald
kind
Square,
of like
Warwick Mall.
Yep.
Emerald Square was the better one.
That's kind of like closer to me than Providence Place, but Providence Place definitely is much better than.
And then we had the Rhode Island Mall, which was basically like Sears and one other store, which is terrible. But when Providence Place Mall came around, that place was legit.
No, it was nice to see that place pumping today. It was it's kind of like encouraging, because you hear all these things about like places shutting down, and you see
especially malls.
Yeah, especially malls. Like you see like some like videos of some places, and like, oh, here's a mall, and there'll be like 2 stores open. I don't know if I forget Silver something in Taunton. There's a mall in Taunton that is like dead, and it's like
I know exact. It's Silver. Oh fuck, Silver Spring.
Silver City or something. I don't know.
Oh man, I know. I used to work right near there, and they have like a brand new like bowling alley arcade in the back, but everything else is dead. There was like a Gundam model store randomly in it one day. Everything else is shut, and the food court, and even the food court's not filled.
Yeah, I feel like if you go there and you're like, I think did they have like a community college there at one point?
Maybe right around there. Yeah, I just knew because sometimes we would get lunch at the food court from at my old job. It was a little bit outside of like pretty far out, but sometimes we go over there. But man, that place was dead except for the bowling alley.
Yeah, now it's even worse. Now it's even worse. And I think there's a theater over there too.
Oh yeah, there is. Yes,
yeah,
there
I
is.
saw. What movie did I see there? What was that movie? Will Smith, and Will Smith's a cop. He's in like Miami. Bad Boys 3.
Oh, the new one. Yeah, Bad Boys Forever.
It was pretty good. Pretty good. Speaking of movies, I saw 2 movies this past week.
2 movies last weekend.
And
2 movies this weekend.
I think we have a difference of opinion on
The
Matrix 4 because you saw 2 movies as well, correct?
Yes, I saw The Matrix and what other one did I see?
You see Nightmare Alley? You said you were going to see Nightmare Alley.
No, I didn't see it yet.
Okay,
well, the problem is it's not playing at the theater I go and see, and
Yep.
I was like, you know what? I wanted to quickly just like last week in between like doing Christmas errands, just quickly pop in and see it, but. Just never.
Yeah. Well, I recommend Nightmare Alley. It was great. I saw The Matrix 4, Resolutions or
Resurrections.
Resurrections. That's right, because Revelations is the third one. And I also saw The Kingsman.
Isn't the third one Revolutions? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I think because 2's Reloaded, and then is it Revolutions or
Matrix 2 Revolutions?
Revolutions.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you saw?
I saw The Kingsman. Kingsman. Very good. Fun. Don't want to say very good. Fun film. Didn't really feel Kingsman-y. There wasn't any like real like I like the fighting sequences to like the music, and they kind of had one where one of the characters was fighting Rasputin to like classical music, and Rasputin was like spinning like a ballerina, and it was cute, but it was good. It was I will say, like, it had some good World War I like set pieces. I will say
the Franz Ferdinand the deal. I know I saw from the trailer.
Yeah, and they actually had like a couple scenes like in the trenches.
Yeah, that's cool.
And,
okay, that kind of World War I. Okay,
and because you don't really see like other than 1917, like I really can't think of any like World War I movies.
Yeah, a lot of World War II movies, but not many World War I.
I will say so in the Kingsman universe, there's like these people like kind of controlling the entire thing. And it's the bad guys throughout the movie. It's one of those movies where they hide his face until the final like 10 minutes, and they're like, "Oh, who would have thought?" But I called it. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I called it like 2 minutes in. I was like, "Yeah, he's the bad guy." But it looks like they're setting up a Kingsman 2, like a sequel, to this prequel.
Oh, okay.
Because
I would imagine that.
So. Like at the end of it, they go through it, and Lenin is a part of this. Like Vladimir Lenin, the guy who did the communist revolution in Russia, he's a part of like this secret group. And at one point, he's like, "Your left hand will be." He's talking to like the main bad guy who like controls him. He's like, "Your left hand will be so strong. At one point, you're going to need a right hand that is just as strong to control." And could you guess who that right hand is going to be?
No.
Who in the early 20th century was a right hand guy who's pretty evil and can kind of
is it Adolf Hitler?
It is Adolf Hitler, and
that's who they said they named him.
Oh, there was a end credit scene with and it was so bad. Oh
God,
it was so bad. I verbally it wasn't supposed to be a funny moment. But it was like it looked like a spoof of the movie. So the movie goes on, and it, there's some sad parts to it. I'm not going to spoil anything, but at the end, Lenin is like in control of Russia because part of the plot is these bad guys want Russia to pull out of the war, but the good guys want Russia to stay in World War I so that Germany will have to focus on the Eastern and Western fronts.
Right.
And so at the end, the monarchy of Russia is dissolved, and Lenin's in charge. And then there's some credits, and then we live post 2007. So now there has to be an end credit scene in every single movie that thinks they're that is trying to set up something.
Yeah.
So they're in front of like this vault filled with gold, and they're shaking hands. And the bad guy is actually, I forget the actor's name, but he's German. He's the bad guy who plays the bad guy in Captain America: Civil War, and
Zemo?
Yeah, he's like the younger guy. He's not the old guy.
Yeah. It's
He was also in the most recent Captain America TV show.
yeah, Baron Zemo.
Yes,
It's,
yes.
Helmut Zemo. He's it's Daniel Bruhl.
Yes, that's him. That's him.
He was also in Inglourious Bastards. He was
Yes.
a sniper. Yeah.
Yeah, he great actor from what I can tell. For everything I've seen him in, he was pretty good in this. And so he's talking with Lennon, and Lennon's like, you're gonna need someone to like rival me, or else I'm gonna like get out of control, because like they're trying to like cause like dysfunction in the world. So like Lennon is now in power, but now they need someone like on the far right to control. And then some guy walks in, and he's got a full mustache, and he's like, "Oh, who are you?" And he's like, "My name is Adolf Hitler."
Oh god.
And it's like Jesus fucking Christ.
Just hit you over the head with it.
It's like, okay, like, yeah, way to be subtle. Because like at first they were dropping like subtle hints, like at the end of the movie, World War I's resolved, and the Kingsmen are all like sitting down, and they're like, hey, these accords are like going to end up fucking Germany, and something bad is going to happen, like, foreshadowing World War II. But then they're just like, in case you didn't realize who the bad right wing villain could be in the next movie, here's Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Like I said, there were some sad parts. The action was pretty good. It didn't feel like a Kingsman movie though. It felt more like a James Bond movie than the first two Kingsman movies.
Did they cast any of the old characters? Like, was there any flashbacks? Because a friend of mine walked out of this movie.
Really?
He hated it, and because it didn't feel like a Kingsman movie.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Was there any callbacks to any of the other characters?
There's a callback to like a couple of the lines. Like
no actual characters though are shown on screen.
No, because this takes place in like
super early. I didn't know if it was like a flash forward or like
no, there was no flash. Like sometimes they have like certain things like where they're in a fight with the final guy, and the bad guy's like, manners maketh the man.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, like, oh, I guess he took the motto of the guy who's trying to take over the world.
Well, it's kind of like it's like the Sopranos movie, like just trying to bash that shit over the head, like where it began. Yeah.
But I think they did a good job of doing like a prequel that wasn't really like, it was entirely new characters and things like that, and you kind of like saw it, because I thought it was going to be like, it's fucking like, oh look, it's the Colin Firth character is now a baby, or something at the end, where it's like, well, how the fuck old is he in the original two?
Yeah.
But they did a decent job. I kind of compare it to like, how like with the X-Men, how they had like the prequels, how they had like First Class.
Yeah.
That was like, I don't know, because that's like still the same characters.
Yeah, because they kind of mixed them. It feels like a totally different world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like they could have called this movie like Secret Service, like, or Secret Spies, and they had it completely separate from Kingsman, and they could have just changed a couple things. But I thought it was decent. But I do agree with your friend that it did not feel like a Kingsman movie. And it's getting slaughtered in the box office too.
Yeah, it's too bad. Well,
I think it's made $15 million so far.
That's not great.
No.
Our good friend CK is gonna have to get over there, and I don't know if we want to say his name on the show anymore.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna have to get over there and see that pretty soon. I saw him put a list out today, and
he did.
I think that was one of the movies on the list.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was decent. I think it's
good for what it is.
It was supposed to come out in like 2019.
Yeah, just
like,
good.
But then it got like pushed back, like for production reasons, and then they were like, "Oh, we'll just release it in May of 2020."
All the poor movies that at the end of 2019 are like, you know what? We're not ready for holiday season, so let's just push our movies back a few months.
Yeah, to like early 2020.
Yeah,
we'll get a good. Yeah, and then then anyone who's not Marvel pretty much got fucked.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Because even like I don't think Kingsman would have made like $1 billion, but it probably would have made someone in the range of the first two movies, like in the 300-400 million range.
Yeah.
Something where it would like, okay, it makes enough to kind of keep the franchise going. But I don't know after this, because like I still think that if it was marketed better and it was in a day of not COVID, it would have made a lot more money. But overall, I'd give it like a 6.2.
6.2, okay.
So like it was good. Like I'd watch it again. I'd watch the first Kingsman first, and then it would be like like if you were like we're watching a Kingsman movie, I'd coin flip if it was 2 or 3, or
Cool.
2 or the prequel.
Right.
So that's the first movie I saw, and then I also saw The Matrix 4, which was so I went to go see it by myself because I just wanted to go in and see it, and I went to go see it in Attleboro, and you have to like pick your seat.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
I picked a seat, and I sat down, and a guy came up to me beforehand and was like, "I think I'm sitting next to you," and I was like, "Oh, nice."
That's
I was
weird.
I was like, "Dope," and he goes, "You ready for this?" And he goes out to like fist bump me, and I was like, "Okay."
Was it a full theater?
No, not
But
at all.
so he selected a seat next to you.
Yes. And like he
Great.
selected a seat next to me, which is fine because it wasn't a full theater, but like he was probably gonna have to sit next to someone, and he was by himself as well. And he goes out and he's like, "You ready, man?" And he goes out to fist bump me, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, let's do it." And like it's not like I was like dressed as like Morpheus or something like that, and I was like, "Choose a red pill or a blue pill." It was like, it was very like I was just by myself on my phone. He's like, "I think I'm sitting next to you," and I was like, "Oh yeah." Like I don't know, yeah, because like I'm seat number 9, are you seat number 10?
Oh,
And
God.
he sat down and then he fist bumped me. And
What a nightmare. I might have left.
I was like, fuck, because like I was in like the back because there's like 2 sections and like no one wants to sit in like in the front section.
Yeah.
And in that moment I was like, is it bad if I just get up
And move,
just
right, yeah.
move? Because I'm like, dude, I like if he turned to me at any point in the movie, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. See, that's what I couldn't do that. I couldn't move, but I would debate not going in at all. Like that would ruin. Especially if he's like talking to me. Then he's definitely gonna be talking to me.
Yeah,
Like,
so thankfully he didn't talk to me during the movie.
That's good.
But like he was definitely like whenever there was like a reference to something, he'd be like, "Yeah, he was a Matrix fan," which is like
which probably tickled his fancy throughout that movie.
oh my god, was there any callbacks that it was the 4th movie?
I didn't notice. No,
You didn't notice how the entire first 30 minutes was like. So there's a video game trilogy called The Matrix.
Yeah.
And we're making them make WB is making them make a 4th one, even though the creator doesn't want to.
Right off the bat, I didn't have as big of a problem with that as I had a problem with the convoluted nonsense.
I had no fucking idea what was
for the
going
most
on.
part that happened at the end. I did enjoy the movie. I will say that. But the second half of that movie, the third act, is a convoluted mess.
The whole thing was like, first of all, I didn't understand like the first half. It's like, okay, is Neo dead? Then they're like, oh yeah, we built them back together.
Yeah, that. I mean, that's
which is just pretty much
Yeah.
we shouldn't have killed him off in the 3rd movie. So this is how we're going around it. And then it was like weird because then they're like, oh, you and Trinity have magical powers when you touch, so we need to keep you close together.
Yeah, that was something that seems like a bit of retcon, like a bit of like go back and change the past, because that was like really like, besides them being like emotionally connected, I didn't really get any of
power in like the real world.
That seems strange. In them saying like, oh, and the the robots, they found out after.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that's weird. That's just a super like throw it in there so we can make a 4th movie type.
There were
moment.
a couple things I liked. I liked how like some of the robots and Sentinels were like working with the humans now.
That was a cool
I
little
liked
bit.
it. I liked it how they were like, hey, we have a new city. This is how like we have our own sky. Like I feel like they could have like fleshed that out more of like the what's going on in.
And you would think with probably another movie coming, I would think
Most likely, yeah.
you would
Well,
think
I don't
that
know,
they
'cause
would like save some of that for another one.
I kind of would have wanted to see like a Matrix, like not a Matrix 4, but like a Matrix, like when they showed like, oh yeah, then we had to fight the fucking robots again. But then they started fighting each other and we didn't really know what to do. So we like, I would have liked to see that. And like the humans like trying to like having to like pick a side, like for the, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The callbacks were like, oh yeah, well, we see it. I liked it how there were like flashback scenes to show like the old Morpheus and things like that. I didn't understand though. Like I didn't understand like, okay, so now there's a new Morpheus who was originally a Mr. Smith.
And
But he was made by Neo in order to like take him out of the world.
I also didn't quite understand this modal that he made. I don't know if that's like a coding term that I just don't get, but that modal that he made with the happenings of the first 15 minutes of the first Matrix movie,
Yep.
where that Morpheus comes from.
Yeah.
It wasn't part of the video game. This was something that he coded coded separately and
So
just
like
had.
he coded that?
Yeah,
Which,
I think
like,
that was
doesn't make sense to me.
right. That was, and there's a YouTube video that explains a little bit of it, but it's still very confusing. But yeah, he coded that himself, and that was why when he checked it and was like a person from that world got out,
Okay.
the Morpheus character, he was like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Oh, okay.
And at that point, he's still being like, he's not sure about his past. He's not sure if that actually happened or if
Mhm.
he's just fucking crazy, which is the Neil Patrick Harris like architect character.
Yep.
Just kind of
Because
feeding him that.
like I at first I thought it was kind of cool. Like, oh, it's going to be like not a retelling, but like history repeats itself. When I saw the first scene,
Yeah.
how it was like, oh, like something's going to happen, but I don't know. It just didn't click with me. And then the Morpheus character was kind of like, oh, I'm in a bathroom now. And it's like,
The Morpheus character was a bit too abstract for me. I did like the Agent Smith being his boss at the video game company.
I did
that
like that.
character
No.
was very good in that role.
And I did like Agent. I think Agent Smith was like the best part of like the original trilogy.
Yeah,
I thought he was great. I forget that actor's name.
yeah, right. He's in the Lord of
Lord
the
of the
Rings
Rings, he as well,
million things.
Yeah. I liked that aspect. I liked how Agent Smith was like, fuck it. Like, I'm in it for myself. Like, I'm not on your side. I'm not on the Sentinel side. Like, I'm trying to rule this place by myself.
Hugo Weaving,
Yes.
and he was also Red Skull.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that I liked. That I
Mhm.
liked because his like kind of like his dichotomy, I guess you would
Yes.
say. Like he was like, he's like he wants to fight Neo because that's what he was programmed to do.
Yep.
Fight against the people that are infecting the Matrix. Well, that
Yep.
are circumventing the Matrix, and then also he's fucking pissed at the architect.
Yeah, he's like, you're not resetting this.
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, I like Neil Patrick Harris as an actor. I think he's great as like a side role. I think he was great. Have you ever seen the movie Gone Girl?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think
Brutal.
he was excellent in that movie.
That was a brutal movie. Yes, he was.
He
very good in
plays
that.
like the perfect, like, I don't want to say like wimp, but kind of like pushover, kind of like guy who like simp kind of sort of thing.
Yeah.
And like what happens to him is like crucial, but like I don't see him as like a bad guy.
He
Where
seems
it's like,
like
oh, he's gonna fight Neo now. It's like I just see fucking what's his face from How I Met Your Mother.
Barney Stinson. I was just gonna say that he is just Barney.
It's like I feel like any second he's like going to like turn to the camera and be like, what does he say? Like, oh, this is
Legendary.
legendary. Yeah,
Wait for it.
yeah,
Legend. Yeah.
exactly, or something of that nature. It's like I just don't think he's a good like villain. Like
Yeah.
I just don't see him as like a bad guy.
Mhm.
So and then like the whole thing where they're like, oh, and he's faster than bullet time now. So what's Neo gonna do?
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, Agent Smith is faster too. So I don't know. The whole I liked the middle of it when they were showing like what it's like in the real world now.
Yeah. The new City IO
Yes.
and all that. That was very
with
good.
like Jada and everything like that.
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
they could have fleshed into that a little bit. But I don't know. Overall I'd probably give it like 3.4.
Really, that's low.
Yeah.
That's low. I see. I did enjoy myself. I don't know if I'd give it that low. I kind of enjoyed it just to see like. I love to seeing Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Moss just like
Yep.
reprising those roles.
Yep.
And just like the whole like, they did a really good job of preserving the tech of the day without like shoving like new technology down our throats too much. Because you got to
Yep.
remember, at the time the Matrix 99 came out, the way they were sucked out of a world was using a fucking payphone or a wall telephone. There was no like cell
Yeah.
phones were really not a thing, or at least in that movie. And like they had to go to a payphone to get out. And this
Yep.
one, it was very convoluted on where they were getting out.
Yes.
But I liked that they kept some of the technology on the ship. It had a little more like it had a tail, the ship, but it was still like very much
Yep.
the Nebuchadnezzar like looking vessel. So that was cool.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I would rate it as like the fourth. I'd honestly rate the Matrix movies as 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fair. I didn't super enjoy the last Matrix movie, but it does fit in better with the other two Matrix movies than this one does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I just think the action sequences. I think the action sequences in 2 are the best. Like just when he's like fighting a million Agent Smiths
Yeah.
or when
They really perfected it in 2 for sure.
Morpheus is like on the highway fighting the
The
albino twins.
Yeah.
or something of that nature.
Right.
But yeah, it's just like the action wasn't great to me.
Mm.
I don't know. It wasn't the. And also, it's getting killed. I mean, Spider-Man just fucking
Yeah, it's tough.
destroyed. It's going to destroy like the next month.
Yeah.
It's I mean, you look at movie times now, and I think there was 3. I looked at movie times today. There was 3 showings of The Matrix, 4 showing of Kingsman, and like 13 showings of Spider-Man, which is like, okay, well, Spider-Man's going on like 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
But it's just wild.
Even the new Disney movie Encanto.
Yep.
It's like the new Disney animated feature, and it only had 2 showings. I looked today, and it's only been out for 2 weeks.
And I think Sing 2.
Yes, right.
Which is another. I think it's like DreamWorks.
Yeah.
Which it's funny when you see like the DreamWorks path, like how DreamWorks started off as like a Pixar's a bunch of fucking idiots, and Disney sucks, and now they've literally like Shrek became such a big hit that they were like, we have become what we wanted to destroy.
Yeah.
So, I think even Sing 2, which came out last week, has just been. I mean, honestly, nothing should have came out in the vicinity of Spider-Man. It's already topped $1 billion. Which is just like
that's just silly. Let's look at the box office numbers just briefly. So yeah.
Normally we won't be talking about movies as much, but there's been so many movies that have come out that like have been interesting, and I feel like the next month there's not really too much coming out.
Trying to see. Well, yeah, Spider-Man made another $84 million over the weekend,
which I guarantee you is more than Kingsman and Matrix combined.
Here we go. So 84 million over the weekend, and the Matrix shows 12 million.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's crazy. Sing 2 just above with 20. Well, it's not just above, 10 million more, 22 million.
What about Kingsman?
The Kingsman 5,900,000. Yeah,
oh my
yikes.
God.
And then the Kurt Warner movie just under that, like 100,000 difference. 5.8.
Oh, Kurt.
Yeah.
It's funny that like, because that's like, I think it's like an actually really interesting story about how like he was going from like bagging groceries to NFL Europe to winning MVPs and Super Bowls. But I don't know when they and I actually don't mind. I actually kind of like Zach Levy.
Yeah,
the guy he plays Shazam.
Shazam. Yeah.
Did you know Shazam's real name?
I mean, I do know this. The kid's name?
Like so he says Shazam to transform into this.
Oh, isn't it Captain Marvel?
It is Captain Marvel,
yeah.
But for obvious reasons, they did not go with that.
Yeah.
Because there's another Captain Marvel
in
Marvel. It'd be great if Marvel came out with Captain DC.
Yeah, right.
These are just stupid fucking things that run through my head. But yeah, no, there's not really many movies coming out over the next like month or so that I'm too interested in.
It's crazy. Look at this disparity, because the next movie over the last that are still in theaters now that's even like slightly close is Eternals. And when I say slightly close,
that's like a little over 400, right?
No, it's right now domestic. I'm just talking
okay.
Domestic. 164 million.
Jesus.
Spider-Man with 470 million. And then after that, it's Ghostbusters Afterlife, 120 million.
That's wild.
It's nuts.
That's wild. Eternals sucks. Did you see Eternals?
No, I didn't see it. I'm gonna wait. At this point, I'm just gonna wait for it
Disney
to
Plus.
come on Disney Plus. Yeah, because I mean, I'm sure there was not much in Spider-Man that was tied to it.
So no, nothing at all. It was like
so that's the only thing I was worried about.
They mentioned like Thanos once, and they're like, "Oh, remember Thanos?" And they're like, "Yeah, because we're in the." That's one of the movies where I thought it would be better off as like a property on its own. Where it's like we don't have to tie this into the whole Thanos thing, but they did. Speaking of Disney Plus, something is premiering this week, and I am excited. Your boy is excited.
What is it?
Book of Boba Fett, baby.
Yes,
I'm very excited.
Yes.
I rewatched the entirety of Mandalorian season 2 this past weekend, just to kind of get my nipples hard for the for the upcoming event. And I'm excited. I think it's going to be good. I think Disney, I think they realized how much they fucked up with the sequel trilogy, and they're really trying to like not retcon it, but kind of be like, oh, there's kind of like a lot of stuff that happens before Episode 7 that's kind of cool. And I really like Star Wars has never really gotten into like the crime syndicate thing, and there's so much there in like the different like Jabba the Hutt, the Mining Guild. the banking guild and all these things, and I really think they're gonna like flesh this stuff out like a lot.
I'm excited.
And so I'm very excited. I'm gonna be doing a recap I think they're gonna come out Wednesday.
So when is the first episode?
I believe it comes out the 29th. So Wednesday. And I'm going to be doing a recap review every single day it comes out. So
nice.
We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I think the actor is I really think that they not dropped the ball, but like they could have done so much with him like between episode 3 and now. It's like, oh, you have the clone. You know, you have Boba Fett, you have Jango Fett.
Yeah.
And there's so much like involved in that because I never thought that like Boba Fett's obviously like I guess you could call him like a villain in the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
But he's literally like he's just a bounty hunter who's just trying to get paid.
Yeah. He's not as funny. He's a less funnier Han Solo.
Yeah, exactly. He's a badass dude who's quiet and you know he's there to get paid and he does his thing. But to see him like go and now he's taking over like Jabba's palace, and I'm excited for it. And because that runs canonically, it runs concurrent with Ahsoka. With the
and is that the next show after that?
So it goes. Book of Boba Fett is starting like tomorrow if you're listening to this now. And then Mandalorian season 3 comes out in March or February.
Oh, dope.
And then I believe Ahsoka, and then you got like Obi-Wan. I believe there's another show called Rangers of the New Republic. They like, I feel like the only thing they have planned right now is Star Wars TV shows. They have nothing planned movie-wise.
So, yeah, it looks like Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor. Which is
Andor, yeah.
Andor.
Oh, very excited for that.
Ashoka. Is that how you say her name?
Ahsoka.
Rangers of the New Republic, like you said.
Yep.
The Acolyte.
I don't know what that is.
Lando. To be announced. And then Rogue Squadron. That would be dope.
I think it's a movie.
Is that what that is?
I think it's a movie, and I believe that's made by... I think I saw...
Rogue Squadron?
The director of it, I think it might be the director of Captain Marvel. Look up
Patty Jenkins.
Yep. There we go.
Did Wonder Woman.
Oh, Wonder Woman. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. The good one, not 1984. Maybe I think she did 1984 as well.
She did both, yeah. And she's
okay,
also apparently attached to a Wonder Woman 3.
Okay, well, we can pretend she didn't do Wonder Woman 1984. But yeah, no, I'm excited for that. But you know what pisses me off now?
Tell me.
Do you know what Boba Fett's ship is called?
Well, it was called the Slave, or it is called the Slave One.
Yes. Now it's referred to as just Boba Fett's ship. I was playing Fortnite over the weekend, and they had a Boba Fett bundle for the Book of Boba Fett, and I bought it. And it's like call Boba Fett's ship, and it's called the Slave One. And like I know it's like something stupid, like who really gives a shit?
Yeah.
But they're deleting history. They're deleting history.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like. Slave. So I'm looking up the reason for why it was called Slave One. Slave One was a modified prototype Fire Spray 31 class patrol and attack craft used by famed Mandalorian bounty hunter Jango Fett and his son Boba Fett. It was greatly modified with advanced weapon systems by both Fetts during their respective use. It doesn't say why it's called that. It's actually
because it's just a badass name.
Okay. There's actually an interesting story behind it. A modified Fire Spray 31, like I said. There are only, that's a weird way to phrase that. There are only 6 or 5 made in the galaxy, or maybe 5 or 6 made in the galaxy, being used as prisoner transport ships.
Oh, that makes sense.
During a prison riot, Jango stole one of these ships and renamed it Slave One. There you go.
I like it. So they're literally erasing history.
Yeah,
it's fucked up, man. You think there are any slaves out there who
well, you should know. You know about
dude. I hate slavery. It sucks. There's more slavery today than there is at any point in history.
Yeah.
But you think there's like any slaves out there who are like, oh my god, I'm a slave, and they're calling it Slave One?
Yeah, I think
Boba Fett can't call it like the freedom fighter.
There's not one person that offends it because of what it's called. Like people are offended because they hear that and they just
And they
are
just
fired.
want to pretend.
And then also Disney just wants to be like, you know what? Let's
Yeah,
just
we're just wanna
we'll hit the high
not deal with
points.
it. Yeah.
Let's just not deal with it. Personally, like,
Oh, it doesn't really matter.
no,
I
right?
mean,
I know that's where you're coming from too, but it's just weird because like nobody really cares. Is it actually Like, is this helpful? No, it's not helpful to anybody.
but it doesn't hurt anyone either.
No,
It's just like, okay.
you're not like you're saying like modern like this year or right now in history. There's more slaves now, with sex slavery and all that, right?
Yep, sex slavery.
Than
I
there
mean, there's
has
a bunch of
ever
people.
been, and like changing the ship name doesn't help them at all.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But it doesn't hurt them either. So I mean,
No,
Disney's Disney's slave neutral. You know,
There you go.
by changing the name, they're slave neutral. They don't really want to pick a side. You know,
Sure, it makes
go
sense.
against big slavery.
I wonder what it's. I mean, I assume that because this was a Lego set. I assume that the ones that are called Slave 1 have gone up drastically in price.
Oh, like we kind of touched on this earlier, but like I have a Lego set that I bought a couple of years ago in like 2014 or 2015. And it was like $30 at launch in like 2003, 2004. I think I bought it for like $100. Now it's like $320. It's fucking wild. It's like oil. It's crazy. But yeah. So that kind of does it in regards to like movies, TV shows, things of that nature. So last week I told you to come up with some New Year's resolutions. Did you?
Yes.
Did you happen to come across any?
I do have some New Year's resolutions. Yes.
Okay. You want to go? Real quick. Oh, I was on.
I have 3.
I was on Montante's World this week.
Yeah.
Is it just me or is he smoking crack when he says that the Justin Show live show would sell 150 to 200 tickets at $25 each? That is wild.
That
to me.
seems like a high number. I'm not gonna lie.
That is-
but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess it would depend on where and when. But that number seems high.
If I ever did,
No offense to you, Justin,
of course,
or myself.
Of course, Jesus Christ. I mean, but like, if I ever did something, I would like contact a bar and be like, "Hey, we're just gonna get a bunch of people together, and it's gonna be more. I mean, it's not really a Justin Show hangout. It'd be more like a Minifan hangout,
Yeah.
where people could go and just hang out for a little bit, and it would be like no cost to anyone. But he's like, yeah, no, you should do something. I'm sure you could get like 200 people. He's like, you think I could make $5,000
Yeah.
selling? I mean, I'm by the end of 2022, like no doubt. Like no, of course. I mean, 200 people will be.
Oh yeah. I mean,
thousands. I mean, those
yeah.
tickets would go for. A couple of years ago, Green Day did a show at the House of Blues, and tickets were like $3,000 each. Like that would be
like
in
the TD
range.
Garden probably won't be able to hold us. At
Yeah,
that point.
no, they probably would, but we'd probably do like two. We probably do 2 shows there. We probably do it
Yeah,
Thursday and Friday.
Split them up. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably right.
Uh,
Do you want me to start, or do you want to go first?
yeah, go. Hit me with your first New Year's resolution.
Okay, so my first one is I want to swear less.
Okay,
I hope. Obviously, I'm with you on this podcast, but I also
so
host-
no more N words.
No, yeah, definitely no more N words. Got to stop that. That's
Okay.
gonna end right here. Put it in its tracks. The zero amount I say a year is gonna be, but got to be cut down. I'm talking more about when I use it as a crutch. I use it as a crutch a lot in my other show,
Okay,
Average Nobodies, if anybody's wondering. But I do use it as a crutch, and I want to stop. I don't care that people are offended. That's not like really the reason. I think just for myself, I think I overuse it just to continue sentences. And
you think
like,
it just sounds like not necessarily like it's a bad thing, but I sometimes do this too, where it's like you listen back to yourself and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have said like, oh, motherfucking fuck. You just sound like you're crutching on something.
Yeah, it's just right. It's just like it. And also, this could just be me listening back and editing these podcasts, and I just hate listening to my voice anyway. But just like hearing that and just constantly saying the F word, or like
It means
going
fuck,
down.
by the way.
Yeah, right. Fuck. I guess it's not the New Year's yet, so I can still swear now. But like being like,
Well,
oh, what
well,
the fuck,
well-
fucking motherfucker, fuck.
To you and me, the F word is fuck, but some people say
Oh yeah, no.
the F word
this
is the
not-
other F word is not great.
No. Go to a very good show for that.
Very good show. Oh, they love that show.
Oh no. Craig beeps it out most of the time. Anyway,
why do they have to take a year of their shows away?
what did they?
Yeah, the first, like, you didn't know this?
Oh
The
no, I
first,
always hear
like,
them talk about old shows, but I didn't know they actually
Yeah,
weren't on.
yeah, they scrubbed them all.
That makes sense.
Because something about like Nick Cannon or something like that.
That's very
Yeah.
funny. The good guys over there, though, very good show.
Yeah, they're funny.
Yeah, so I want to cut back. I want to stop using it as a crutch. So we'll
Okay.
see how that goes. We'll fucking see.
So my first New Year's resolution is I want to lose at least 75 pounds.
Hey,
I think I can lose 75 pounds. I don't want to say pretty easily. I think it's going to be quicker, and I think because I have 75 pounds to lose. It's not where it's like I could lose. I have 30 pounds I could lose. I'd like to lose 20. It's like I could lose 75, and then I'd still have a little bit more to lose. I think this could be kind of like the year I finally get my fucking health in order. A couple of years ago, I was doing this program.
No better time than the present, man.
Yeah, that's right.
It goes for me too.
I was doing some like program, but it was so fucking expensive. It was like this doctor's office, and it was like I had to like buy all my food through them.
Yeah.
And it was like 500. It was something wild, like a week. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. I was like, so. But I did lose a bunch of weight, but then I was like, well, quarantine's around, and, I got to support all these small businesses,
Yeah.
So I kept getting fucking takeout and sitting on my ass. But nope. This year I will be doing something about it. So let's hope. My goal is to get, the sooner I get below 3 bills, the better, I think.
There you go.
So that's my first New Year's resolution, my personal one. You have a second one?
Yeah, so I want to kind of going in line with you. It's kind of like the health thing. I've been recently losing a little bit of weight, doing a little bit of dieting, but obviously the holidays derailed that. But something that I've been doing and want to keep doing into the future is I want to stop drinking my calories.
Okay.
Meaning like I love soda.
Oh, so do I. Mountain Dew soda.
Is it not the greatest fucking shit
so
ever?
Fucking good.
There we go. I'm fucking swearing.
Oh.
It is so great. I love Mountain Dew. I love Coke. I mean, really, any soda is my jam, and it is so terrible for you.
Oh, it's the worst.
Not only sugar wise, but everything else is in it is fucking terrible.
I stopped by a Cumberland Farms today, and I picked up it was like a big bottle of Mountain Dew, and I was like, I'll just drink this like as I'm working or doing whatever. I looked at it. There's like 450 calories in it.
Oh yeah,
I was like, fuck.
Bananas.
Like if I drank this 4 or 5 times a week, it's like a pound in and of itself.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
It's fucking wild.
It's so bad for you, and it so easily can like skew you. Like I had been doing keto, and like drinking that much sugar totally destroys. It doesn't get burned. It just gets stored.
It doesn't like if you eat $500 worth of chicken, not $500, 500 calories worth of chicken, you're like at least you feel full. Like you'll just piss out the 500 calories of Mountain Dew in an hour, and you won't feel anything. No, that's a good one. That's a good one. I also plan on cutting out soda.
Like no soda. Well, so I say no, don't drink my calories, but like I love like Coke Zero is good, and obviously 0 calories. Yep. It doesn't like who knows what that fake sugar shit is gonna do to me.
Yep.
But in the meantime, as long as I'm not totally destroying my body with sugar, like heading towards diabetes, I'm good with that. So I'm gonna stop. Right now. I haven't. I only drink Coke Zero. Really is the only thing that I drink other than like a 0 calorie iced tea. And before I was having like I'd have Coke on hand all the time, Dr. Pepper and energy drinks, like not zero sugar.
I'm not an energy drink guy. Believe it or not.
I don't like caffeine. I don't like what caffeine does to me.
Okay.
But I used to love Monsters, original Monster, and regular Red Bull. Just the taste of it for some reason, just like really, I fucking love it.
See, the only time I drink Red Bull is with as like a mixer. I've never done it like straight. done it straight. That sounds like such a
I got
vodka. Yeah, like with vodka or like Jaeger bombs or something like that.
And that goes for beer too. I'm not a huge beer drinker, especially during the week at home. But if I go out, like if I'm out with my friends or we're doing something socially, like
I'm a beer
drink
drinker,
beer
too.
Because it's the easiest thing that you can keep drinking and not
it's
get
like,
fucked up.
And also like I don't want to say I'm a pussy when it comes to drinking, but like if I needed to I can take like I don't know, like sometimes like if a drink's too strong, it's like fuck.
Yeah.
It's like I understand like it's gonna get me like there quicker, but also like I'm not trying to get like fucking stupid drunk and whatever. But no, that's a good one. Don't drink your calories. My second one is kind of relates to this. Is I want to try to get the Justin Show to 10,000 subscribers.
Let's fucking go.
I think so, and I think the Justin Show 2022 is going to be its year. I think it's going to really take off.
Say it again. Speak it into existence.
2022 will be the year of the Justin Show. It's just fucking facts.
How many subscribers?
At least 10,000.
You hear that, people?
At least 10,000 by December 31st, 2022. So we'll see. I kind of like to, expand things a little bit, kind of somewhat get some sort of inflow of money into this just to like push out different content, things of that nature. Some guy messaged me this past week. I think he might have been hitting the bottle a little bit. Maybe he wasn't. He was just a super nice guy. He was like, you know what you should do? Is he was like, you should go see a movie every day and put out a podcast. And I was like, oh no. And he started offering me money. He's like, I will give you $1,500 to start off. And I was like, oh, I appreciate it, but get back to me in the morning.
Yeah. Oh my God.
He's a super nice guy. And he said, I met him in Madawaska. And he was the one who told me, he's like, yeah, my wife thinks you have the best voice on the show. And I was like, well, your wife is fucking has terrible judgment.
Have you talked to him since?
Not since. No, I haven't. I think he was like, yeah, Justin. He's like, I'll give you $1,500. And I was like, no. I was like, oh no. Like, I'm just letting you know, man. If you give me $1,500, like, you're never gonna see that back. He's like, that's the point. I don't want to see it back. And I was like,
I think Vaulted Podcast would love to see that money. I'm just joking.
I'm
not joking, but
I was going to say. Oh no, no. Trust me. The first person that once the Justin show starts getting like Mr.
pasta.
Beast money.
Ooh, fuck
like,
yeah.
Yeah, like well, like this fucking the Vaulted Podcast is going to be a bang. It's going to be fucking Gringotts in here.
In truthfully though, and I think I speak for the both of us. We would happily accept any and all sponsorships.
Oh, of course.
I mean, we will be shills for whatever you want to give us.
Yeah, of course. I mean, fucking Chris reaches out and he's like, "Hey, Justin, it's $5 to do it." I'd be like, yeah, this crazy concept of everything like that. But no, I think like I do have one sponsor now, which is this beautiful Vaulted Podcast.
That's right.
If anyone wants to do a podcast here, I mean, it sounds professional. It's great. Matt's the best at everything he does.
Oh, stop it.
Please hit him up at Vaulted Podcasts or Matt from RI.
Matt from RI on Twitter. Yeah. And if you want to hear, so we're sitting right here in the vault. We do this show here. We also do Why Are You Laughing? Blind Mike show, Why Are You Laughing?
Which I think this isn't really fucking resolution, but I think that's going to take off in 2022.
There is a lot of if you are listening now or if you haven't listened, get there now. If you like comedy, there are some great episodes coming out, like very, very good content shows coming out. It's very interesting and stuff that as a comedy fan I didn't even know about. So they cover a lot of different things, but
it's a great like binge worthy show. Where,
yeah,
like
sure.
I've listened to him a bunch, but what I'll do is I'll just like throw him on YouTube while I'm playing Xbox or something.
This is gonna sound like a backhanded compliment, Mike, but Mike does a great job. Like
he does. Like, he's like I said, he's the best when it comes to like critiquing comedy and things of that. Like he's like I don't think he'll ever be like I just don't think he'll ever be like a stand up comedian. But I could see him being like a very good like.
And I don't even think like deep down.
I'm not even trying to say that's like a.
He doesn't even, I don't know if he wants to.
No,
do
neither
that,
do I.
I mean?
I think he would be a great like promoter. Or like someone who like just talks about stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
He's
he would be a great club. He would be a great club owner.
Oh, he'd be the Blind Mike's. Are you kidding me? Oh,
Blind Mike's would be a great.
That place could fucking sell. You get some, $10 shots of Mama Gary's cream. That's fucking making hand over fist.
Oh God. So I forget where and what we were talking about, but
New Year's resolutions. And then we're talking about Vaulted Podcasts. You also do Why Are You Laughing in here, and you also do Average Nobodies.
So your last resolution was I forget where do we end
was
off?
10,000, baby.
That's right, 10,000.
10,000.
Right.
10,000. So you want to do your final one?
My third and last one for the year is kind of like one that I've been trying to do for the last couple of years, but I haven't been able to because I'm just lazy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to for every. I constantly have this issue where I have so much to watch or read or like all this great content at my fingertips.
And you just go back
everywhere.
to what?
I go back to the same shit all the time. I watch Star Wars.
Yep.
I watch Lord of the Rings. I watch Marvel movies constantly, and I never watch new shit.
And then like you ever like watch something new and you're like, that was so fucking
right. And I'm
good.
like, why aren't I doing this more? Or why didn't I just start that show that I've been wanting to start forever? So what I'm going to do is TV shows a little bit harder because I don't rewatch a lot of TV shows except for like maybe The Sopranos. But I'm always watching new TV shows because new stuff's always coming out.
Yep.
What I'm going to do is for every movie that I watch, like that I've seen before, the next one has to be something new.
Okay, so you have to, like,
can't-
alternate.
Yes, exactly. Or I mean, obviously, I the goal is to just constantly be watching new things.
Yep.
But if I do want to watch something old, I have to have first watched something new.
Okay.
And I can't go back to back on it.
Okay. I like that.
So if I'm gonna watch Fellowship of the Ring again, that means I have to watch something
so
new
good,
before
though.
I can watch it.
Oh, it's so
And
good.
hopefully it's the best. I mean, there's a reason why I watch these movies a million times.
I know.
Because they're the greatest pieces of cinema of all time. It's so.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
With your
So,
Lord
but
of the-
I have to watch. I
yeah,
have to watch. New stuff.
I know what
so
you mean.
I actually downloaded this past year an app called Letterbox,
Okay.
which is it's not spelled the way you think. It's like letterbox, but without an O. It's like BOXD.
Okay.
Anyway, it's an app on my phone that I can log my movies and like rate them.
Okay.
So I've been doing that.
I also
And,
believe that Jeff Delowe's website, movie
oh
rankings.net,
yes,
is actually like legitimately like good. Like it's a
Mhm.
good way. I watched a couple movies from there. I watched what's the Hitler movie about the Jojo Rabbit? You ever see that?
yeah, Jojo Rabbit, yeah.
Great movie. I saw that through
Mhm.
there. The Death of Stalin. A bunch of like I've actually seen like some pretty good. What else did I watch because of that? Oh, There Will Be Blood. There's a whole bunch of that's actually a very good website. I recommend that if you're trying to see new stuff.
Yeah, that is a cool website. I actually was using that for a while. On my old phone, I had it as like a desktop shortcut, a home screen shortcut.
Yep. No, but I like that. But I will. Oh, how excited are you for the new Lord of the Rings TV show?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. I know it's gonna be. It has to be great.
I mean, if it's not, it will be the most disappointing thing.
They spent
like $300 million.
It's crazy. They spent like the amount of money they spent on one episode. No, an entire season of Game of Thrones they spent on like one episode.
Wild.
Which is
Oh, it's
crazy.
wild.
That's crazy.
One of my dad's best friends from high school is actually the second assistant director. He's done a bunch of movies. He's the second assistant director on. He was on like Star Trek, the rebooted Star Trek. He did Iron Man 3, a whole bunch of them.
He's working on the Lord of the Rings show.
Yeah, he's
That's
working. He
cool.
moved his entire family out to where the fuck did they film it?
New Zealand.
New Zealand for a while.
Wow.
And because like apparently they're like filming it, like they're already filming like season 2 and 3. Like
Yeah.
they're filming it like they did the Lord of the Rings, where they're like they're filming them all at once. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too.
Hopefully, I mean there hasn't been really any great new Lord. I mean, besides, I truthfully think like the Shadow of Mordor and the Shadow of War games were pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there hasn't really been like great Lord of the Rings content.
Were you not a fan of the Hobbit movies?
I liked the Hobbit movies.
Yeah.
They were different.
Yeah.
I think they needed to be different. I think people who walked into that expecting like Lord of the Rings, it was like the Hobbit's not Lord of the Rings.
Battle of the Five Armies was as close as it got, and it was the best Hobbit movie in my opinion. But I don't get the same feeling when I go and rewatch the Hobbit movies.
No.
When I rewatch
It's like a
Return of the King.
when you're watching you're watching the fucking extended edition, Two Towers and the
Yeah.
fucking
Oh, man.
Battle of Helm's Deep. You get fucking you want to talk about just a great cinematic experience. Because I feel like that's like I've said it before. I think they're the greatest movie trilogy. It's the greatest movie trilogy of all time.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like if they ever remade it, I would like legitimately riot.
I mean, they would have to. That's tough. That's like with Back to the Future with me. It's like, how do you
remake it?
Yeah, how do you remake something that is like that? They will eventually do Back to the Future. It's coming
eventually.
But Lord of the Rings, I feel like
Lord of the Rings was so because it's like you don't watch it and you're like, oh, that's dated. It's 20 years old now.
Yeah.
It's coming up on like 23 years.
They did such an amazing job with that.
Peter Jackson is a fucking.
Although the one thing I always make fun of with my buddy Adam, who we are both super fans of Lord of the Rings, when they are running out of Mount Doom, it's running into Mount Doom. When they're running into Mount Doom, Frodo's running in. It's like a very poor like CGI like. It just looks bad.
Okay.
It looks like he's just running into space.
Oh yeah,
He's just like
I haven't seen it.
but he's like running like his feet pace isn't matching his speed, and it's like very awkward when he first is running into it, and Sam, sees him like running in.
Oh, I have to check that out. See, it's weird. Whenever I go back to rewatch them, I always go back for the Fellowship for some reason. I don't know why. Like I think it's because like
I like Lord. I like the Fellowship, but Return of the King is like.
oh, they're all three of them are fucking masterpieces.
Yeah.
But for some reason I've seen the Fellowship more than anything else. But let's get back to my
So
my
what is
last
your-
couple New Year's resolution is, I'd like to go to 10 Patriots games next year.
Okay.
10.
Are you getting season tickets?
See, I like to do this thing where like I just go on StubHub like as the game starts.
And just see if you can get cheap tickets.
I got like tickets to the Saints game this year for like $100, and it was 3 rows up on like the 40-yard line.
That's pretty sweet.
But it's the duality of man, because I checked. I wasn't at the stadium this past week. RIP. It was a tough game. Game. But I checked like as the game started, there were 12 tickets remaining as the game started, and the cheapest one was like $580
Damn.
for like ass seats.
Yeah, division game. A division game for the division is tough to get. Cheap
Yeah,
tickets to.
especially 1:00 on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's just tough to like the weirdly primetime games are your best bet at like cheap tickets.
Really?
Because people are like, fuck that, I have to work. Like if it's a Sunday night or if it's a Monday night, you could get into the Bills Patriots game. I know there was a fucking like hurricane going on.
Yeah.
But like there were tickets available for like $6 that were like 10 rows up. It's fucking wild.
Buffalo too.
Yeah. I'd like to go there, and then my final thing I wrote, I'd like to write a book.
All right.
At some point. It would definitely be a fiction book. I've written screenplays in the past. Do you remember how on the Kirk show how I said I
fan fiction?
Not
Empire, right? You
no,
rewrote it?
not Empire. I would never rewrite Empire. That's fucking blasphemy. If you think you can.
I'm sorry.
No, 7 and 8.
Okay.
The Last Jedi and
Rise of Skywalker.
No, Rise of Skywalker's 9. What the fuck is 7?
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. Yeah, that's right. I rewrote those. I'd like to write a book at some point.
That's very. Now, would you be upset and would you sue somebody if they read your book entirety on a YouTube live stream?
Of course not.
Okay.
Of course not.
Just
Because it would
checking.
probably be me.
Just.
It would probably be me, and I'd be like, fuck, whoever. I'd be throwing in fucking names I don't even know. I was thinking about that the other day. That's tough to do. Like, I know a lot of people gave me shit.
I couldn't believe you did that.
But it's fucking tough to do, to read for like 6 hours straight out loud.
Oh, yeah.
And like, because then you fuck up a word, and then you're like, should I go back? Or should I not go back? Because like people realize like, oh, well, my first grade teacher used to do it. It's like, yeah, when he's reading fucking Hop on Pop or something like that, and it's like, ooh, the sky is blue today.
At hour 3, I would have just been mailing it in and just like basically mumbling my entire way through the last 3 hours.
Yeah, it was difficult.
Anyway, so you want to write a book? It's gonna be
write
fiction.
a book. Yeah, fiction.
It's gonna be like a sci-fi type thing.
I mean, I have approached Mr. Michael Geary in the past to write The Great Geary.
Right.
But he's
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't quite understand.
Yeah, neither did I. But I just needed to be greenlit. Sometimes you just gotta let. Sometimes you just gotta let the creative minds. Flow.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if David Lynch had talked to his producers about the idea beforehand, and they were the ones who decided if it was going to get made or not, like all of his stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of us, we probably wouldn't have Twin Peaks right now. So.
Yeah, I mean. But
You got to give the artist the paintbrush and let them go wild.
Alas, yeah. I also have some predictions.
I'll talk to Mike
for the new year. I got the Justin Show takes over. Just takes over.
And
the world.
inevitability.
It's just, I mean, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. Either you're on the right side of history or you're not. I mean, it's something where it's like there'll be billboards everywhere, like not paid by us. Like these are just like how like when Kobe died, you saw like billboards everywhere that said like, "Thank you, Kobe."
Yeah.
And it's like, obviously, like, that wasn't the Kobe family or Lakers. It was just, like, fans. Like, you'll be, like, driving down the highway, and it'll just be, like, the Justin Show, paid for by, the Marcus family, out of Providence.
You're either with us or you're crying in a Twitter DM thread.
That's right. I have what my other prediction? Oh, my prediction. I think Craig will be out as producer of Blind Mike Project.
Wait, is that a resolution?
No, this is a prediction, not a resolution. I will take down this guy.
Oh, that's funny.
I will take him down.
That is hilarious. I was like, is that a threat?
No. I think it's a
no.
prediction. I think by the end.
So let me hear why.
I think he doesn't. He understands, but I think that Craig is going to do something inadvertently to piss off Kirk to the point where he says something to Mike, and then Mike has to make a choice. And I think Mike takes Kirk 10 times out of 10. And I don't think it's going to be Craig's fault. I think the people he talks with and interacts with on Twitter are going to fuck him over.
That's an inevitability. Craig is a super nice guy.
I agree too.
Craig a lot.
I agree too, and I think these people are like taking advantage of it.
I would hate to see him leave the Blind Mike show because I think he adds a lot to it, and I think that Mike greatly benefits from having Craig.
I do
help him. I think they fit well together, and they have like a good rhythm. Hopefully that doesn't come true.
Oh, I hope so too. I hope, like, I'm a huge Greg guy. Greg's my fucking therapist. Craig, I'm a huge Craig guy. I'm a huge Greg guy as well too. Shout out Greg. But
I think though that if it does come to what you said it was going to do on KMS, and it's going to be Mike's going to have to choose between them, I don't think that's going to be a real. As much as Kirk will make it seem like a real threat, I don't think that's ever going to be a real thing.
I don't think Kirk will make the threat. I think Mike will make the choice. I think Mike will be like, okay.
You think so?
I
don't know.
So.
Maybe.
I mean, Mike's a loyal guy. I mean, you see him today.
He is a very loyal guy.
Taking shots at these morons who are going after Barstool, who wrote about like how this kidnapped girl. You see this? How they're like they might cancel the Barstool Bowl.
Well, I saw that Boise pulled out because of COVID.
Yeah, and so some fucking sports writer, like as much as like I'm a podcaster.
Yeah, right.
Said like any school that thinks about joining the Barstool Bowl should do some research into Barstool, and then you like look up this guy, and he wrote like an article about like this girl who was literally a sex slave, like trapped in a basement for like 21 years, about how much she missed, about how she missed Ken Griffey Jr. hitting the cycle, and when she was trapped, and what a shame that is. And here's another thing she missed. She missed Dale Earnhardt like breaking the record of the Daytona 500. It's like,
Jesus Christ,
what the fuck?
It's just straight. His original tweet is what I saw. I didn't see any of the other stuff they brought up about that girl. It's a funny thing to say. Like, makes you people any colleges that is that what he said? Any colleges that want to like get in bed with Barstool better do a little research first. It's almost like Barstool is this like tiny little Boston rag anymore. It's not that anymore. It's this massive fucking thing. Yeah. If you go to a college and you say, "Hey, you should do some research on Barstool Sports," I guarantee you that 99 out of 100 students that are in front of you are following Barstool in some capacity.
Whether they like it. I even know people who like hate Barstool, and they'll be like, oh, but like, I mean, Chicks in the Office is pretty good.
Well,
it's like, okay, well.
It's the thing that comes up all the time. It's like people will listen. Like, I remember talking to a friend who listened to Spittin' Chicklets and was like very unaware that it was connected to Barstool at all.
Yep.
And like was a big fan of it. And also that like people watch their like Instagram videos and think they're just like a funny Instagram video like page.
Yeah.
But they have no, you know what I mean? Like it's so interconnected to our social media and media in general right now that's such an insane. You are so out of touch if you say people should be doing research on Barstool, like they have to go to a fucking library to get an encyclopedia and read about Barstool. It's like, no, dude. Like people know what Barstool is, and you are just gonna keep whatever. They have this weird fucking vendetta against
because
them.
they're gonna host a bowl game where they'll have
it's insane.
Frank the Tank on the sideline.
I want to see all that so bad. It sucks that people are just got to ruin the fucking fun. They got to ruin the fun.
So hopefully that goes on. But any plans for the New Year's?
No, not really. I think I'm just gonna do an at home little thing. But yeah, no, nothing really. I mean, it's gonna be quiet. So
I every single year, starting in like 4th grade up until high school, I'd go over the same friend's house for New Year's every year, and he would throw like a party, and he's having a party again this year. So I'll be heading over there. And don't worry, I know you're super worried. I'm getting my booster shot tomorrow.
Good.
So
good.
Everyone will be. I wasn't gonna get it, but then Montante was like, "Justin, you should get it."
I got my fucking booster last week, and man, nothing. As far as like symptoms go, I didn't get any symptoms. I was totally fine. Yep. But man, the fucking even like the first couple shots I got, the first original vaccine, my arm was fucking killing me after. Like,
Are you Pfizer or Moderna?
It hurt. So I had I have to think about this. I had the Pfizer vaccine, but I got the Moderna booster, which they said is fine. There's no
At first they were
difference.
like, no, don't. And then they're like,
Yeah.
then they came out and they're like, oh yeah, you can mix and match. And it's
Yeah, so far I'm not dead. Cross my fingers.
Yeah, I'm getting the Moderna. I'm going 3 for 3 Moderna, so I'll be getting my booster shot.
Good for you, Justin.
I don't know. I was just like, I don't care either way. I just look at myself and I'm like, believe it or not, I'm not the healthiest person right now.
Yeah, it'd probably be bad news if either one of us got.
Yeah,
got
so
COVID.
it was kind of like, and like I am, I guess I'm fully vaxxed right now. I have 2, which is like I think technically still fully vaxxed, but I was just like, I'll just get it just because. And what I was gonna say earlier is when you were talking about like the zero sugar and not knowing what it does to you, I love it when people like who are severely like unhealthy and they'll be like, I'll take a Diet Coke, and they're like, you don't know what that's gonna do to you, and you're like, well, I know that like regular Coke and the sugar is shit as well, so like I don't know, like like I don't know what the Diet Coke's gonna do, but and I also know that Kirk mentioned this on his show, and I don't know if you've ever tried it before, but it is excellent. It's like the Fanta. Like squirt bottles.
Oh, like the
they're 0 calorie.
Yeah,
and they legitimately taste just like Fanta orange or grape.
And you just throw it into water.
You just squirt it into water.
Now I wonder what that would taste like if you threw it into like a plain seltzer water.
It'd probably taste like.
Would it taste like a soda?
It tastes like a soda.
Like with the you get the bubbles.
With the bubbles. I mean, it's great.
So it's the Fanta ones.
Yeah, they legitimately.
I got the Kool-Aid one
Crush?
before.
Or was it Crush?
I liked it. Oh yeah, maybe it is Crush. Yeah, the orange. I think.
Well, yeah, but it's the same thing with the Kool-Aid ones.
Yeah.
I knew this kid in high school who would walk around with one of those, but except he wouldn't mix it with water. He would just like squirt it in his mouth.
No.
And it's like, dude, that's so fucking gross.
It's like
because you ever get like some on your finger and you're just like,
yeah, it's
and then you're like,
gross.
Oh, the fuck did I just taste?
Yeah.
Like it's like, yeah, he would go around with the energy Mios. So like the ones that like have a shit ton of caffeine in them, and he would go through like 3 or 4 a day.
Jesus.
He just like go through me.
Savage.
Like, dude, that's fucking
That's
disgusting.
savage.
But
disgusting.
yeah, I think that about does it. I mean,
cool, man.
I had a Merry Christmas. Did
Good.
Santa come to your house?
Oh yeah, Santa came.
I got a new Xbox.
Very good.
So I'm
oh, sick, dude.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Playing Halo?
Yeah. I played the campaign a little bit. It's funny because like the new Xbox is just the old Xbox. Like software wise, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's like the layout's the same. Like you play all the same games. It just looks nicer.
Oh
So,
yeah.
But it's
pretty sweet.
Yeah. So
Well, good
I don't
stuff.
know. We'll see. Shout out Vaulted Podcast once again, please. At least throw him a follow.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
All the podcast
please.
or Matt from RI.
Please.
Thank you.
Please. But no, yeah. I was gonna say.
Well, the show will go on whether or not people follow me.
I was
so
gonna say.
Doesn't matter.
I was gonna say let's blow this place up. Like let's get it. Let's get the following and the interaction on Twitter.
But
Twitter
first
going.
and foremost, 5-star review on the Justin Show.
Of course, if you
10,000 subscribers, you heard it from Justin.
10,000 subscribers.
We're getting there.
You can't do negative subscribers. So
That's right.
I mean,
well, no.
well, you can unsubscribe, but you can't like create bad subscribers. I guess.
I know you. I get where you're coming from.
So let's go 10,000. We don't have to start yet. A couple more days. Some of them will really.
It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt to start now, but yeah.
So we shall see. Well, anywho, I will talk to y'all later. Matt, you have anything else?
Nope.
Awesome. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a happy new year. Bye.